Welcome to United Report, your daily hub for all things Manchester United, from transfer news and match updates to exclusive stories. We've got you covered. If you're a true Red Devil, hit subscribe and join the United family. Glory, glory, Man United. Manchester United are set to sign young star Godwill Kokonki to his first professional contract. The 17-year-old will put pen to paper on a deal at Old Trafford, having made a promising start under Ruben Amorim, per the Men. The towering youngster stands at 6'5" and has already left an impression on United's Portuguese head coach. Kokonki is said to have impressed Amorim in the boss's first training session and travelled with the squad to face Ipswich. The teenager went on to make the squad against Arsenal in December and made squads in the Europa League when United defeated Lyon. Kokonki also made the end-of-season tour of Asia and started in the 3-1 win over Hong Kong and came off the bench in defeat to ASEAN All-Stars. The England under-17 international can play in the centre of defence or at left-back. Kokonki played 14 times for United's under-18 side, and in the Premier League 2 playoffs as United defeated Everton and West Ham before losing in the semi-final against rivals Manchester City. Amorim was quickly impressed with Kokonki's physicality upon his arrival and commended the defender's maturity. "He's 16, said the boss to MUTV, but he impressed me a lot, so it's also a sign to the youth players that they can be here. If something happened with the first team squad, they have to step up, and I think he's ready. He's very adult to handle the demands of the Premier League." After making the bench for the first time against Arsenal, Kokonki said on social media, "Valuable experience with the squad. Thanks to the manager and the staff for this opportunity. Thank God." Kokonki's early opportunities came amid a major injury crisis in defence for United after Amorim's arrival. Lisandro Martinez, Johnny Evans, Victor Lindelof and Luke Shaw all picked up issues to put them on the sidelines. It is said Kokonki's ambition is to push for his United debut despite his tender age after making his way through the age groups at the club. The Stoke-on-Trent-born prospect has already drawn early comparisons with Manchester City defender Josko Gvardiol. Kokonki could still become the youngest defender to ever represent United at a senior level in the league. No United defender has ever played in the Premier League before turning 18. Former Manchester United goalkeeper David De Gea is attempting to bring Victor Lindelof to Serie A side. Fiorentina following his release from Old Trafford, reports claim. Defender Lindelof was released by United boss Ruben Amorim at the end of last season following 8 seasons with the club. The still managed 25 appearances in all competitions for the Red Devils last season, but only started 6 times in the Premier League, signalling the end of his time in Manchester. Lindelof proved to be a valuable member of the United squad during his spell, as he made 284 appearances and won 2 trophies. The 30-year-old will now be looking ahead to his next chapter after becoming a free agent, and Fiorentina have become an option for him. According to Corriere dello Sport, Lindelof's former United teammate is pushing to bring the centre-back to the Viola. The pair spent 6 years together at United, and De Gea's involvement in the deal comes after he himself revitalised his career after joining the club, playing 42 times for the team and making some fabulous saves. The report says Fiorentina are ready to offer Lindelof a contract at the club, knowing he can be snapped up for free. It adds that the club feel the Sweden star would offer valuable experience as well as backup, following the exits of Matias Moreno and Nicolas Valentini. Should Lindelof join the club, he will be playing in the UEFA Conference League after the club finished 6th in Serie A last season. Along with De Gea, Lindelof would also be playing alongside former Manchester City forward Edin Dzeko and ex-Everton star Moises Kean. Lindelof was one of 3 senior players who were released by Manchester United at the end of the campaign, including Christian Eriksen and Johnny Evans. Manchester United's summer rebuild is gaining momentum, but the drama off the pitch continues. Marcus Rashford is set for crunch talks with the board over his future. Alejandro Garnacho has rejected a move to join Cristiano Ronaldo in Saudi Arabia, and Bryan MBEUMO is growing increasingly frustrated as his transfer saga drags on. With just one new signing through the door and the pre-season tour fast approaching, time is running out for Ruben Amorim to get his squad in shape. Let's get into all the latest updates from Old Trafford in today's United Report. Manchester United are looking to revamp their squad this summer as they hope to bounce back from their worst ever Premier League campaign. The Red Devils finished 15th last season, and Ruben Amorim wants to make some major change. However, they have only made on major signings so far, with Matheus Cunha joining from Wolves, and Christian Eriksen and Victor Lindelof have departed after their contracts expired. Plenty more incomings and outgoings are expected before the window slams shut. The likes of Marcus Rashford, Alejandro Garnacho, Jadon Sancho, Anthony and Tyrell Malaysia are all expected to leave and have been linked with several clubs. Here, Mirror Football takes a look at all the latest transfer news and rumours from in and around Old Trafford. Mirror Football understands that Marcus Rashford is set to hold crunch talks with club chiefs about his future in the coming days. Rashford has been informed he is not in Ruben Amorim's plans, having spent the second half of last season out on loan at Aston Villa after he was frozen out by the Portuguese. The forward's representatives want to know what United are willing to accept to let him leave. Rashford is prepared to compromise on the terms of a payoff in order to facilitate a move, but it is understood that he is more likely to leave on loan again, with Barcelona among the clubs interested. Alejandro Garnacho has turned down the chance to join his idol and former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo at Al Nassr, according to The Telegraph. Garnacho has been told to find a new club this summer and was approached by Al Nassr. However, the 21-year-old has rebuffed their interest as he would prefer to join another European club. Chelsea and Napoli have both been linked with Garnacho in the past, but it remains to be seen what the future holds for the forward. Ruben Amorim wants a deal for Bryan Mbeumo finalised before Manchester United's pre-season tour of the US begins on July 22nd. Brentford have already rejected 2 offers for the forward, who netted 20 Premier League goals last season and was only outscored by Mohamed Salah, Alexander Isak and Erling Haaland, and are holding out for more than the 62.5 million United paid for Matheus Cunha. MBEUMO is also not happy with the move continuing to drag on, with Cameroon's assistant coach Ashu Cyprian Bissong telling Telecom Asia, "Yes, obviously he's very frustrated with how long it's taken. There are 7 weeks remaining of the transfer window and plenty of work still to be done. The Premier League has already seen some monumental deals, but more await before the return of the season in a month's time." Liverpool set out to their work early and signed Florian Wirtz in a record deal, in addition to adding new fullbacks in the shape of Jeremy Frimpong and Milos Kerkez. A new defender and striker could yet be on the agenda, with Marc Guehi and Hugo Ekitike both linked, with potential for competition from Newcastle for both. Arsenal have not been shy in attempting to overcome the gaps to the Reds either. They've signed Martin Zubimendi and Christian Norgård in the last week, while Noni Madueke looks to be next to join the club from Chelsea. But anyone associated with the Gunners will be waiting with bated breath to discover whether a new striker finally arrives in North London. Victor GYOKERES is on strike, and attempting to force through a move to the Emirates from Sporting CP Tottenham meanwhile have caused controversy in their attempt to land Morgan Gibbs-White. Nottingham Forest have accused them of an illegal approach, as the Lily Whites' attempts to strengthen Thomas Frank's side are put on hold. Manchester United are set to be hard at work too, and may need to work quickly after Andre Onana picked up a hamstring injury. A new goalkeeper could be on the cards, but the Red Devils will be doing their utmost to land Bryan Mbeumo from Brentford too. There is still time for the likes of Chelsea and Manchester City to conduct more business too, and we'll keep you up to date with everything from around the Premier League and beyond below. Victory GYOKERES will be slapped with a significant fine and forced to apologise to his teammates after failing to return for Sporting CP's pre-season preparations, says the club's president. Federico Varandas has spoken out and suggested they remain under no pressure to permit GYOKERES to leave on the cheap. The Sweden international has been adamant he will leave Lisbon this summer and resolved to go on strike amid a dispute over the transfer fee he will be permitted to depart for. Sporting chief Varandas noted when the threat emerged that he would not be blackmailed in an explosive statement, but after being required to come back late for pre-season, GYOKERES did not arrive on Saturday in time for his side's training camp. The squad departed for Lagos without the 50-goal striker after players were asked to report for 4:30 p.m. on Saturday. Now GYOKERES, who is said to have already agreed personal terms with Arsenal, faces disciplinary action, and Sporting do not appear willing to allow the player's decision to ease their own negotiations with the Gunners, which have already required a cooling off. Man United's Alejandro Garnacho has rejected the chance to join former teammate Cristiano Ronaldo at Saudi side Al Nassr, according to reports. Garnacho looks certain to leave Old Trafford this summer after his row with manager Ruben Amorim, who irked the player by dropping him for the Europa League final defeat to Tottenham. The 21-year-old is still intent on a move, but has snubbed the opportunity to move to the Saudi Pro League with Al Nassr, as reported by The Telegraph, because he wants to prioritise a European club. Juventus have agreed a £17.3 million deal with United for Jadon Sancho, as the player looks for a way out of Old Trafford following Chelsea's decision to send him back after his loan move. According to La Stampa, the Red Devils were holding out for closer to 25 million for the former Borussia Dortmund man, who cost them 70 million back in 2021, but have decided to ease on their demands in a bid to get the flop out the door. Marcus Rashford has crunch talks scheduled with Manard bosses this week. The England forward's representatives want to know the precise financial terms United will accept for his departure, whether on loan or a permanent transfer. Rashford, 27, feels he is in limbo after being told he is not in manager Ruben Amorim's plans, and his £375k a week wage being a major stumbling block to a move. It is understood that Rashford, who has 3 years remaining on his Old Trafford contract, is prepared to compromise on the terms of a payoff to help facilitate a move. But a loan looks the most likely outcome, with Barcelona keen, a move which would suit Rashford.